Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome to another episode of the Blacksmith Furnace with me, Robert.
With me, Pete.
Man like Mo, yeah. Full furnace.
We
The
back.
beard is in full effect, yeah. Come
Hey.
on,
Back,
the
Hey.
bearded gang,
full fire,
yeah.
full heat,
Come
full
on,
to the metal.
man in a
Please.
mustard tea, obviously. Chase made that rhyme without even meaning to. Yeah.
Yo. Yeah, we back, man.
Back.
Been a minute.
Been a
Well,
while.
to the listeners, not necessarily because there's been consistent episodes, but
Jeez.
To
Even when we got
the live streamers.
yeah.
well, we back.
It's been a long time. We shouldn't have left you without a dope beat to step to. I don't think we got the clearance for that still, but yeah.
Yeah. No, cool.
Right, let's get into it.
Yes, sir.
I feel like it's been so long since what sorry, we should do a one for one.
Yeah. Let's do that.
Unless Robert, you had anything else in mind.
Actually, I do. So I took a quiz at work the other day and I was so furious. I was furious.
Okay. All right.
So let's do that.
Do the quiz.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, let me get it. Let me find it.
Interesting.
Okay, what's it? So the quiz is. Hold on, just waiting for it to load on my phone. So the quiz is this Lamentations or is this Taylor Swift?
Oh, stress.
Banter.
Stress.
And you know, when I was doing that, I thought, yeah, I got this. But then
Taylor Swift, you know.
But then I realized how they had tricked me. Do you know how they tricked me? Lamentations was the message version.
Oh no.
That's not even the Bible.
That's not gonna help.
At least you've given us a heads up.
Yeah.
Hold on, let me. I'm trying to get.
That's not gonna help much.
Give me a second. I really should have got this ready beforehand. I was looking at
Mo, do you read the message version?
I have done, but it's not something I do often.
Fair enough.
Okay.
Cool.
All right. So there's 14 questions.
Okay.
All right. Hold on. What's happening?
Robert's phone is giving him a runaround.
It's really not doing what it's supposed to be doing right now.
It's just. I'm curious what this was on actually. Where did you find this quiz?
It was at a work thing I was doing.
Oh, okay.
No, it was like a work leadership. No, not leadership, but sorry, I'm trying to find it. I was gonna annoy me now. Where's my tablet? All right, you guys talk. I'll be back in a second. Okay.
I said like talk amongst yourselves.
Entertain yourselves.
I'll take him out of the stream, just to be petty. Oh, I can ban him from the studio.
Raw. That's too much power.
Oh, he's gonna be so upset when he comes back.
I wonder if he's even gonna sign back in.
No, I haven't kicked him out. I've just taken him out of the stage, as it were, of the stage. Do you have a PS5?
No, I don't. Do you know what? I had a PS4, but I realized that I just wasn't playing it.
Right.
And with it sitting beside the computer plugged in, I was getting frustrated that I wasn't playing it.
Right.
So I was like, for my own sanity, I'm just gonna get rid of it.
Fair dues, fair dues.
So I got rid of it. I still got the Switch. So I'll be playing on that. And even that is very sporadically. I think I picked it up yesterday in like 2 months. The first time in 2 months.
No, fair. I was only asking because the new Mortal Kombat 1 has come out.
Yeah.
And I just finished the story like
sick.
yesterday. Yeah. Not the game, like watching
the YouTube story thing.
Yeah. Alright.
Bro, Mortal Kombat on Switch looks so crap, bro.
It does. I saw
it's so slack.
There was a video comparing the PS5 graphics and the Switch graphics, and people were fuming in the comments. Fuming. There's no texture. I
didn't even realize it was released on Switch.
Yeah, there's no texture. There's the X-ray moves just look so slapdash.
Oh, that's unfortunate. Yeah. The storyline is fine though. I watched the storyline. It's quite cool.
All right, cool. All right, I'm going to keep a score. So I've got Peter and I've got Moses. My pen is not working. Oh, there it is. Okay, so 14 questions. Okay, right. So it's either a Taylor Swift lyric or it is a lyric. A lyric.
A line from Lamentations.
Basically lyrics. The message is basically lyrics. Okay, number 1. I remember it all. Ooh, how I remember. Oh, sorry. I remember it well. Oh, how well I remember the feeling of hitting the bottom.
That's Taylor Swift.
Peter, who you going for?
That's Lamentations.
The answer is Lamentations. 1 point for Peter.
They wrote, "Oh, how I remember it all." Oh, bro. Oh, how I remember it all. Yeah, they're mocking it. Message is mocking it.
Question number 2. Have you ever seen anything like this? Ever seen pain like my pain? Seen what he did to me?
Oh, that's
Taylor Swift.
That's Taylor Swift.
That has to be Taylor Swift.
Lamentations.
What verse? I'm sorry, what verse?
It doesn't have the verses here, unfortunately.
And the message, sometimes they just put 3 verses to 1. So it would have like verses 2 to 5.
Yeah.
Okay. How he... What? Who's he?
I don't know, but
my pain.
It's lowercase he though, so it could be...
It's not even God.
All right, the next one, number 3. It rains when you're here, and it rains when you're gone.
That's Taylor Swift.
Moses?
Taylor Swift.
That is correct. No, 1 point for both of you guys.
It's going to sound like I actually even know Taylor Swift lyrics. I don't.
Right. Number 4. Long were the nights when my days once revolved around you.
I'm tempted to say Taylor Swift.
And then it's the quiz, isn't it? It's the quiz. This is so
when
obviously.
My nights revolved around you.
Right, I'll read it again. Long were my nights when my days once revolved around you. It's kind of bar still.
Long were my nights when my days used to revolve around you.
Yeah.
I'll say Lamentations.
Peter?
I think the smart thing would be to say Lamentations, even though I can't see this in the book. But then it feels like Taylor Swift as well. I'll say Taylor Swift.
It's Taylor Swift. No point for Peter. Number 5. Walls of insincerity, shifting eyes, and vacancy vanished when I saw your face.
Lamentations.
Taylor Swift.
What? All right, cool.
It's not easy. It's not
Not
easy.
easy.
Okay, next one. I weep buckets of tears and not a soul within miles around cares.
Lamentations.
Correct.
Yeah.
He's always talking about crying. The weeping prophet.
Okay, next up we have I gave up on life altogether. I've forgotten what the good life is like.
Lamentations.
Yes. Yes. Jeez. Next one. Did you have to do this? I was thinking that you could be trusted.
Taylor
Swift.
Yes. Come on, guys. You're getting it. You guys are getting the rhythm now.
I'm just trying to catch up to Peter because he's like 2 points ahead of me.
Number 9. Like shadows in the faded light. Oh, we're invisible.
Lamentations.
Can you read that again?
Like shadows in a faded light. Oh, we're invisible.
That kind of sounds
Taylor
like a Taylor Swift bar.
I'll say Taylor Swift.
I'll still say Lamentations.
Okay. That's another point for Peter. It's Lamentations.
Wait, if it's Lamentations, Mo is right.
Oh no, sorry. No, sorry, it was Taylor Swift. Sorry.
Don't get excited like that, bro.
Okay. Are you ready for this one? Are you ready for this one? This one might be...
Evidently not.
Woo! This one. Oh.
It's both of them.
I swear this is both.
This is both of them.
You're actually correct. It is both of them.
Yeah. No, that's good. That's good. This is definitely ridiculous.
Okay, number 11.
That's not even fair.
Number 11. We've been to hell and back. We've nowhere to turn, nowhere to go. Rivers of tears pour from my eyes.
Taylor Swift.
Lamentation.
That is Lamentations. Another point.
Hey.
As soon as I hear crying, I'm like Lamentations.
It's the hell and back though, but then it's the message. It's the message.
Because Lamentations was their exile to Babylon.
Yeah.
The whole fighting towards that. So yeah, they've been to hell and back in the wars and blah blah blah. So yeah.
Fair enough.
I think we're number 12 now.
12?
Yeah. See the vultures circling dark clouds. Love's a fragile little flame. It could burn out.
Taylor Swift.
Taylor Swift.
Correct. You'll find out what it's like to get drunk and wake up with nothing.
Ooh. I feel like God is talking to Jeremiah.
Yeah. I feel like this is Lamentations.
That's a rebuke.
I feel like this is Lamentations.
I feel like it's Lamentations.
Correct. Lamentations.
Yeah.
Okay. Number 14. Time turns flames to embers.
Oh. I would say Taylor Swift.
Yeah.
It's Taylor Swift.
Yeah.
Okay, last one.
Okay.
That was 15. Okay.
I thought this nightmare was over.
These walls that they put up to hold us back will fall down. The time will come for us to finally win. And we will sing hallelujah. We'll sing hallelujah.
Nah, that's Taylor.
Stress.
That's a setup. That's a
It feels like a setup hard.
That's a track card. That is a track card.
Oh. I can't imagine Taylor Swift saying hallelujah. I can't.
Because I think it's a trap card, I'm going to say Lamentations.
Peter?
Oh, stress. I can't see Taylor Swift singing that line. But again, because it feels like such a trap card.
Yes. I do. Everything says that it's going to be Taylor Swift. Everything, because it's just like to put a blatant hallelujah in it, you're going to think it's from the Bible.
Yeah.
2 hallelujahs.
Bro, back to back.
Yeah, I'll say Lamentations as well.
Okay. No, that one was Taylor Swift.
Raw.
It was a trap card.
So, in second place with 9 points, we have Moses.
Disgraceful.
Our winner is Peter with 11 points.
How much did you get?
Oh, so it was when I did it. It was you get knocked out when you get an answer wrong.
Oh,
I was out on the first question.
Give me 2 seconds, guys. I'll be back.
Easy.
Cool.
Easy.
Okay, so after this experiment that we've done, does it make you feel any different about the message version?
Yes. Yes.
In that it can be mistaken for pop lyrics.
Yeah. Yeah. In that it barely sounds like scripture.
Well,
It's just...
Man, that's what I've been against this book for the longest time. How dare it? Disgusting.
That reminds me of hip hop and Shakespeare quiz.
I haven't
See
heard
if
of
bars
that.
are hip hop or Shakespeare. Yeah. So they tend to use that in like poetry sessions, especially spoken word, to kind of see if it's poetry. No, Shakespeare or rap.
Oh, you go Shakespeare.
Mm-hmm.
Willie Shakes.
They be having Jay-Z's bars next to Hamlet and stuff, and people be thinking Shakespeare wrote Hard Knock Life.
What's the thingy in Paris? What's the is it Paris?
Yeah.
Anyways, in Paris.
Yeah.
You get that wrong, you think it's Shakespeare. Cool.
All right, let's get into the topic for today. Yeah, I think there's only like one thing we can really talk about today in light of news that's been happening in the news in London.
Oh, I think I know. Yeah.
Yeah. Peter's moved out, so it doesn't affect him anymore.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah.
Well, at least not this kind of thing. You got the Skinners to worry about now, bro.
Not
whole
quite,
different
but yeah,
ballgame,
kind
boy.
of. No.
But yeah, so on Wednesday
Yeah, I think it was Wednesday.
morning, a 15-year-old girl was stabbed defending her friend from her friend's ex-boyfriend.
Is that what happened?
Yeah.
Wasn't it the girl herself?
No, it turns out it was the girlfriend's friend.
That's mad.
Huh.
Yes. And so the boyfriend had come trying to win back his babes. Came out of the house with flowers and a 12-inch knife.
As you do. Flowers and a machete. You either receive my love or you receive my wrath.
Yeah.
What? Yeah.
And yeah, they were at a bus stop on the way to school, and yeah, unfortunately, this girl, Elianne's life was taken.
Elianne is her name.
Yeah. Yeah, and and it happened in Croydon. No surprise there.
Don't do us like that, fam.
He's heading out.
I'm going weak. But yeah, well, to be honest, I live in Norwood. I've never lived in Croydon. My postcode has always been on the compass. That means I live in London, baby. London for life. Anyway, but yeah, so I thought it would be interesting to talk about this. I was talking about it with Andrea yesterday. Oh yeah, he got arrested. They found him there.
Yeah. 45 minutes afterwards.
Yeah. And yeah. Yeah, so I was talking about it with Andrew, and like we're discussing like how could things come to this? Like it seems that like this generation of kids are way crazier than we were when we were kids. Um, like if you look at like the like increasing numbers of like knife related incidents and murders and stuff, it's like these kids are like a law unto themselves.
Mm.
Like no church in the wild, no church anywhere. They'll burn down the church. So, um, people have been, talking about, you know, there's things we can do, but I haven't really heard anyone say anything that that would be a good solution to like stop these things happening. Because it just feels like it's a systemic problem from all the way back in terms of like I think it was Akala who I first heard say this, that the nature of like all these high rise council buildings, um it's no shock that these kind of things occur,
Mm.
like these kind of council housing and things like breed these kind of people. um
Nah,
you don't think so, Peter?
nah. I think it sounds like an excuse to me, and it sounds like a I don't want to say, I don't, rehearse is not the right word. It sounds like an excuse with a maybe unwitting agenda to bring race and class into it. Um, the council housing situation, it's not the best. Yeah, fine. There will always be in societies where you have people that rely on the government or whatever the case might be. It will be easy to say in those areas, like anytime there's council, it starts to sound like, oh, these are bad people, right? Because whatever. But actually, if you think about it, like we just came from Ghana, they don't have that luxury. So you've got people sleeping under benches, right? That over here would be in council housing. Those people aren't bad. The fact that you are reliant on the government or whatever isn't bad, right?
Mm.
I think the thing runs deeper than just, yeah, council housing. They don't get all the things that you get in Chelsea. They get something, right? And that actually isn't. That actually, I think, is indicative more of a government that's working than of what the alternative would be. If it was just outright poverty and people are out there without any sort of safety net, it would be a lot worse. I think the thing runs down to, and for me, it will come down to stuff like the family unit, stuff like taking God out of schools, taking God out of society, out of community. That's what I think breeds this, because I think this is a symptom of sin, of whatever pride it was that's in that guy that will make him be able to stab a girl. The lack of um the lack of fear of the wages of sin, and it's easier for me to say that as a Christian, but even in society, if the penalty, Chris Rock made this joke, if bullets cost what 160,000 or whatever, he made a joke. If a bullet was more expensive, there wouldn't be that many stray shootings, or there wouldn't be that many people that die from stray bullets, right? If the cost of carrying a knife and the cost of taking someone's life, like this instance was your life gets taken, I think things would reduce. I think things would reduce significantly. If I knew that, okay, me carrying this knife around or me stabbing someone could result in me getting a death sentence, I think a lot of people would think twice about carrying a 12-foot knife for no reason. And so I think this is an evidence of sin more so than it's the government or society or racism or anything. I think it's sin present in people, and yeah.
But I think so. I watched the news report a while back about repeat offenders, and it was talking about how people are more likely to reoffend once they've been in prison, and like a reason for that is because they feel like they can get away with it. And I think
if you take people's lives, you don't get repeat offenders.
but I don't think these people go into it killing people thinking that they'll get caught. That's the thing.
Yeah, no, they don't. But then, if the consequence is like, think about it. In as much as you don't think you will get caught, I think everyone that does something stupid does it with an awareness of what the consequences would be if they are caught, right? It's prison, or it's you don't want to get caught, or you're not planning to get caught, but it's like, if you are caught, it's not the end of the world. Well, if it was the end of the world, is what I'm saying, that wouldn't be the case. And again, this might be an emotional response to hearing a 15-year-old girl die for no reason. Like, there's no reason why this girl should die. So maybe I'm being a bit emotional. Maybe I'm not being as logic. But I think the death penalty should be the thing for people that take people's lives. Like, you killed, so then you should be killed. That's that's the only thing that makes sense in my head.
I definitely agree with corporal punishment. I just don't think that people see it as something that is scary. Enough.
Maybe.
Because if you're going to kill someone, you're aware that you're going to get at the very minimum 10, if not 15 years in prison. And if not even that amount of time is a deterrent, I don't think these people know how to quantify what it means for their life to be taken, which is why.
Yeah, but then again, but prison becomes like a bit of a badge of honor. Like, everyone's like, if we're all going prison, you're in prison. They're like, oh, they let him out of jail. Then they let him out of the slammer. It's par for the course. It's a rite of passage, if you will. Yeah, you've got a criminal record. Cool. Like, no one's thinking about their future like that. But then if the consequence is there is no future, again, I'm saying this, I don't think anyone will ever go for it. I don't think this country has the appetite for it, but I think it's a solution at the very least.
I do. I think kill all the murderers.
It's one thing like crimes of passion. Like, I'm not saying there shouldn't be a court system. There's one thing, crimes of passion. I'm not saying everyone that kills should be. If someone enters my house like a robber and I kill them, I don't think that's worthy of.
That's not what crime of passion is.
Yeah, no, sorry, no. I'm saying these are examples of things that I think. Sorry, these are things that I think there can be like a court process and stuff on. Like, not all slaughters, I should say, are this, but where it's so senseless, it's so unnecessary. I think you killed someone like this, you should get killed.
It's a tricky one.
So you've worked with kids in the past, isn't it? So you've worked with children in the past, so maybe you've got a slightly different take or a slightly different feeling towards this kind of thing.
Yeah, there's a reality of the housing system. So it's fairly well documented in that the whole council estate projects ghetto sort of housing system was an experiment by the government, not necessarily to provide the less fortunate with stuff, but more so a social experiment for various things. It's been like proposed that population control, social control, blah blah blah, this and that, but just recognizing that the housing situation in and of itself is such that it there's something associated with it that seems to be quite oppressive.
Sorry, I don't mean to cut you off, Mo.
Yeah,
You lived in Ghana for a while.
yeah.
Can I ask you this? Is the housing system in this country better than the lack of housing system in like a place like Ghana?
That's a loaded question. Is the
It's
housing
simple.
system in this country better than the lack of?
You can't compare it. I don't think you can compare it
Why not?
because I think because class in Ghana is very different from class in the UK. In that you can have whole families sleeping in an abandoned house in Ghana.
Yeah.
Or like after house in Ghana. You're not gonna find that here in London. Like people are
And here's the thing, is that indicative of a good thing or a bad thing?
maybe the Conservatives are right about immigration. Maybe just too many people in the UK.
That's like where I was going per se.
Because my thing is should we applaud the government handing out loaves of bread when it is well within their means to provide something more substantial?
I think people like us with perspective should recognize what that is. Because we've been in places where the government could also do something substantial and they're not even handing out pure water.
Yeah, but you know what? The problems of Ghana, just because Ghana has problems doesn't mean that London's problems are any less.
I'm only speaking to Ghana because I've lived there, and that's why I'm speaking to you guys about Ghana, because I feel like we've got a certain perspective that affords us, I think, maybe a more rounded view. Now, I haven't seen the research, and I don't dispute it because I know you guys do a lot more reading around those areas than I do.
Political side of stuff.
Yeah. What I can speak to, however, especially even just going there recently, is we've got a lot of things good here. I'm not saying it's perfect by any measure, right? How much tax do we get taken out, like, for no reason? But what I am saying is, like, I feel like when you travel around or when you live in other places and you see the things that we don't have here, that they don't have that we have here, like, I think it should give us a different perspective. I think it should give us
and it's not my perspective isn't so much so tarnishing what has been built or the privilege, not even the privilege. I wouldn't even say privileges, because like for the most part in the West, historically the prosperity, the progression, the privilege that is enjoyed here is almost always as a direct response or taken directly from slavery, and has its bearings on the prosperity, the labor, the workforce that was drawn from the African countries, from the colonies. And so the resources, the gold, like Great Britain is only called Great Britain because of the Commonwealth that it conquered. Like, it was a conquering force going out and stripping lands of the best of what they had, their resources and stuff, and bringing it back and establishing things here. And so even by default, the fact that things aren't, that's why a story like Wakanda is so pertinent, because it's just like, yo, what could have been if things were left, if the nations in Africa were left to develop themselves, they still had their best minds, they still had their resources, they still had the manpower, and they weren't pillaged for centuries to build the West. And as a result of that, there's been financial security and blah 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 and wealth that has been handed down and built up in these countries to build some of these infrastructures. And so there's almost a benefit from that in building these countries in the West to the spaces that they're in. And so it's almost, you could almost argue that the West has enjoyed great progress and success at the expense of the countries that they kind of ransacked. And this isn't the path that I was trying to take it down, going from council flats and stuff down here, but it's looking like, okay, cool. Yes, we are in a space where we've got certain things that are much better established and that there's a structure for in these spaces, but also there's a twinge of there's something in it, in that even when Caribbeans came over through Windrush and other things like that, when they were being offered council houses, council flats and stuff, sometimes it was under the agreement of the father not being allowed in the house. So even in them providing them with houses, they're fracturing the family. And in the fracturing of the family, we know that has a ripple effect.
Yeah.
And so it's fundamentally breaking the society, it's breaking the community, just so mom and baby can be able to have a place to live. It's not so much so now, but still, unfortunately, if you're a single mother, you're more likely to get a house than if you're a couple. From the council side, anyways. And so some is like the systems that are in place, and that's something again that happened in America in terms of the projects and blah blah blah. If your man was in the house with you, you would be evicted.
Question.
Yep. Tell me what you think about me.
Is that explicitly because there is a veiled desire to not have the man in the house? Or is that because if the man is in the house, then as two, your joint potential income would be enough to set you guys up, and so that space can be given to someone less capable or less?
Oh, so the accounts that I have heard personally, they were like, the parents were together, and the mother was being offered a house or a flat or whatever, and the stipulation was the husband can't come with you.
And that's in writing?
Yes.
Wow. Okay.
Like they were married and they were like, your husband can't come with you. You could only have the house if you go by yourself. And that's an account from someone who's still alive.
That's interesting.
And so there's this.
I'm really curious to see the justification for that.
I don't think there is one.
Yeah.
And there's this real sense of this sinister, whether it's intentional or not, I can only imagine it's intentional.
Well, at the end of the day, it's the devil, so I wouldn't be surprised. Yeah, it's the devil.
This sinister fragmentation or breaking down or erosion of a community by taking away the family structure. Because we know that, bro, like if this guy came from a stable household, 2 parents, I'm not going to say that erodes all of the problems. No, you're still going to have
statistically. Yeah. Statistically, it makes a lot less problem.
Yes.
Yeah.
To see a man valuing and honoring a woman, even in disagreement, even when the woman is like, nah, blah, blah, and the man still standing and honoring her, you ain't going to put a machete to someone because she don't want to be with you.
Yeah.
And so that's why I'm like, yes, I'm not trying to undermine some of the luxuries we enjoy here. Now, you see, for me personally, I don't even mind the tax too tough.
Yeah, I mean, you see what it goes to some extent.
Because I'm like,
You see what
I
it
can
goes
go to the GPs for free.
Bruh.
Come on.
I can go to the bro in America. If you ain't got medical insurance, it's long for you.
Again, I can speak to Ghana because, like, legit, if you go to a shop, like, you know how you go to a shop and it's like, oh, this is what the price is. Maybe they'll do a credit check. You're buying a car, thinking they do a credit check and it's like, oh, what's your credit? You go to the hospital,
Bro.
You are dying.
Bro.
Let's see your bank account first. Do you have
Bro.
funds? Fam.
I'm hearing how in America, if to give birth, if you give birth in a hospital, you can easily come out with a 30 grand bill for one child.
Yeah.
Skin to skin, they charge you. You put your own baby on your chest, they charge you. Bro, they're moving the kid. Look, they're moving the kid from your vagina to your chest. That's it. There's like a 5 grand charge.
That's mad.
So I'm like, yo, yeah, take the little change from my thing.
Yeah.
Cause I know that, yes, prescriptions might be £9, whatever, but I can see
still
my
£9. Yeah.
I can see my
just
GP.
£9. I say just, but yeah, it's better than the alternative.
It's better than the alternative.
Yeah.
I need insurance just to be able to get an asthma inhaler.
Go to the pharmacist and you have to haggle for life-saving medicine. Like,
bro, it's long. It's so long. So yeah, I'm like, we enjoy luxuries, certain luxuries, but I also recognize the building blocks of these luxuries. And it's a shame that for the most part, the people caught on the bad end, caught in the net of like the lower end of stuff, are those who laid these building blocks. Now, in saying that, yes, we have got white people, we have got other ethnicities that kind of fall into this category. But the system is almost set up that if you're black and brown, like, you kind of slide into these things a lot easier. So yeah, it's a shame. And so when I hear council estates and stuff, I am not necessarily seeing it from the housing perspective. I'm seeing it from the social political perspective, in the infrastructure that upholds it. So yes, it's brilliant to be able to have roof over your head and ideally like heat and electricity and stuff. Now, I do know that some people can't afford it, especially in this economic climate and stuff. But you've got shelter. You've got shelter. But recognizing that, yeah, the structures that kind of put these things in place weren't necessarily done with the best of intentions. Even if we look at Grenfell, with how the building quickly set on fire, stuff like that. And it's just like, yeah. So that's the angle that I know, or I believe, like the likes of Akala and them will be coming at it from. And again, it plays into this. It is a wider problem. It is a wider problem in that, from a spiritual perspective, it is sin. It is the fallenness of man. And I believe that one of the main things that kind of comes into it is selfishness and pride. In that I want to be as wise as God. Or I think I know what's best. I am not going to submit to God. I want to be God, at least over my own life. And that is the at least. So yes, there is that direct correlation. But unfortunately, systems and structures were built and established by broken men. And so these systems and structures are broken as well.
Yeah.
And these systems and structures, unfortunately, is what is governing us. And so the very things that are in place to help us live in a way that is amicable and peaceful and beneficial for the community is broken, is flawed. Because I mean, like, even when we say, oh yeah, just let's all submit to the word of God, again, it's like, yo, the KKK, we're doing it under the guise of Christianity.
Yeah.
And they genuinely preached on a Sunday white Jesus, and being white is closer to God. That blacks weren't human, or they were subhuman, which then legitimized even spiritually their subjugation and their slavery. And that if they saved or looked favorably upon a black person, it was a sin. And it's just like, yo, like, this is perpetuated through faith. And so it's just like, again, if it comes down to us outside of the Spirit of God, and these guys believe they had the Spirit of God, some of them anyways, if it comes down to us, we are gonna make the worst choices. Like, yeah.
So outside of death penalty, are there any things you think we can do to help help in the prevention of this? Because, like, obviously there's nothing we can all do in our lifetime unless we're the trumpets, because then playtime is over, you know what I'm saying? But outside of that, is there anything that you think that we can do or have the ability to do to help these things not happen?
I mean,
Before we jump on that, yeah, Robert, I'd like to hear your thoughts around the whole social housing conversation.
I think that the kind of people, I don't want to pick everybody with this brush, but the kind of people that that have to live in social housing don't tend to have the highest aspirations in life. You know, yes, you'll hear like a story about, I was raised in a council flat with my.
I lived in a council flat. I was raised in I wouldn't say raised.
I think all of us
flat.
lived in a council flat.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think that depending on where you live, it's easier. It's easier to get involved in that kind of thing than not. Like if you live in a block and all the kids your age are like doing this thing, you know, unless your like parents are on your neck, and even then, you know, you could have good parents at home, but the once you're out of the house, you're moving mad. And until you get that phone call from school or the police are taking you by the scruff of your neck back to your house so that you can get shipped off to Africa. You know. So yeah, and it's so easy to fall into that trap if everyone around you is doing it as well.
Yeah.
You know, and I think we can even see that even if we're not gangbanging, like I'm sure some of the toxic / negative views we like even have around women were molded because of the people we were around
Facts.
growing up, you know. And if so, babes, how much more violence, you know? Um, um, like growing up in school, people were acting up, so I acted up, you know, which means and other people acted up, you know. People didn't take school as seriously because our friends we didn't take it as seriously. I remember when it was time to like pick university choices. No one put Oxford or Cambridge down as a choice because for us we couldn't even fathom going to such a place. But they put down the Brunel, put down the DMU, you know what I'm saying? Put down no places, put down the Kingston.
Yeah.
I feel slightly insulted because we all went to the same uni, and man saying he wasn't serious with us applying for it.
Well, I got there through clearance, so I didn't have much choice.
These times, Queen Mary was legit my first choice.
It was my first choice, and I smashed the entry requirements as well.
Come on.
You're right, and I think this is where some of the conversations around representation and stuff factors into it. Where it's like, what are you surrounded by? What are you seeing? What is the waters that you're swimming in?
Yeah,
and if you're swimming in polluted waters, that's all you know.
Yeah, and like as cringy as some of these gang films can be, you know, I think it makes sense. You know, you live in an area, it's not the safest. You might get robbed one day. Okay, I want to carry a knife so that I'm not going to get robbed again, you know? And then it moves from, okay, I'm carrying a knife so that I don't get robbed. Oh, I've got this knife. If I point it at this guy, he's going to give me his stuff, you know? Yeah. And then that guy starts to carry a knife. And it's just like a vicious cycle like that. Sometimes the cycle gets cut because people get cut. And so it can end that way. But even then, you kill my boy, coming to kill you. Oh, you've killed my boy now, I'm coming to kill you. And so it's lots of vicious cycles happening all at the same time.
Ades writing boo.
And then it doesn't help that like growing up, girls are impressionable and they lack the confidence that comes with this kind of bad boy mentality, you know, like I'm like with the girl that got stabbed, she was defending her friend whose boyfriend, that was her boyfriend, you know. So she was involved with that. I'm sure she knew that was the lifestyle he was living. Like that lifestyle might have been even part of the reason why she was interested in him to some degree. It might not have been all of it, but I'm sure that played a part. And like we've seen girls like the bad boy, the man, kind of guy. And I think that girl should be allowed to do that, make the mistake, and not have to worry about their life afterwards. You know, it's all part of that growing up process. Yeah. You know, I'm sure if you ask our wives, probably not Anita, you know, but you know, but I'm sure with Gems and Andrea, they like the bad boys for a little bit, you know.
Yeah, I think Peter
I feel like there's a shot sense. I feel like there's a shot.
Peter might be like the edge of bad boy that the furthest edge of bad boy that Anita's gone for.
Yeah. Ooh, he watches crazy.
Big cadet see, he knows how to shoot a gun. Muay Thai. Yeah.
These are the things she likes the least about me. Anyway.
But I think so yeah, no, to add to that, I it goes back to Top G. There he is. Top G. Mr. Producer.
Mr. Producer.
Come on. There is an element of, and this may be tribalistic or whatever, not tribalistic, but animalistic, in that you want to be not speaking, this is a generalization, but women would like to feel protected. And depending on the area that you're in, being of someone that you feel can protect you. And so if you are a deeply spiritual woman, you would want someone who is equally as deeply spiritual, who will do warfare on your behalf. That's the space that you're in, who can lead you spiritually. If all you know are the roads, then you would want someone who can protect you on the roads. If all you know is just studying, it's just, yeah, my dad's 401k, he's got blah, blah, blah investment, then you would want someone who ideally can protect you within that realm. And so protection may not always be physical, I'm a kickboxer, blah, 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 but there will be some level of protection that I think the woman would be inclined towards. Like the man as the head of the household. So spiritually, he should be able to cover his household. There's a level of protection there. And if the man isn't doing that, then unfortunately the woman is picking up, and there's a lot of frustration even in the church that comes from that, where a woman feels like, yo, I'm having to lead my household spiritually. It's not my role. I'm not the man. Or I'm having to discipline. I don't think women have a lot of problems disciplining kids at the moment, but I don't want, I'm having to be the disciplinarian because the man ain't stepping up to the plate. And so I think sometimes that can play into the bad boy sort of thing where it's like, oh yeah, I'm fragile, he can protect me, yeah. So I can run up my mouth and he will go do the fighting. Unfortunately. And then he goes back like Kevin Hart. I'm not a fighter, I'm a lover. So yeah, it is unfortunate. But yeah, I do see your point, Robert. I'm just in time as well.
Oh yeah. So I think that So that's my view. There's so many things up. I think that with like the Kevin Samuels and the Andrew Tates, we're seeing that men and boys hunger for leadership, mentorship.
Yeah.
But a lot of the time, the quote unquote good guys or the outstanding guys. No, let me not say that. The life that comes with being a good guy, it doesn't look as nice as the bad boy who gets the babes and the cars and he's got the fast money and all of that. To boys and guys who like, I think for like a lot of us, we are triggered. No, not triggered, like wired to be enticed by that kind of thing. And so being told, being faithful to one woman and like raising your kids and having a steady job, that's a good way to live life. It's not the most exciting prospect in life, but in that quote unquote boringness, there is security, there is safety, there is
stability.
Yeah. Peter doesn't look like he agrees.
No, I don't. Because I think I'm not oblivious to the reality that the bad boy sort of lifestyle presents a certain appeal under certain circumstances. But then I think as well that there are elements of that sort of lifestyle that I think maybe in more civilized circles, and I say civilized with the air quotes, we've allowed for those things to be removed. We allowed for sort of the smart boy to be feminized, and so he's not, he's not doing anything. He's not pursuing anything physical, or he's always sitting behind a book, and it's like, I think the problem is allowing for what is right to seem like it's not appealing, because we've actually we've actually tarnished what is right. Like I think that the appeal of the bad boy is, maybe someone said girls that like bad boys, or girls like a person who is dangerous, who can be dangerous to others or dangerous to their threats, but kind to them. That's not something that's exclusive to the bad boy, right? That it isn't. Like Mo
But
can be dangerous to a threat, but kind
just
to
a
his
bad
wife.
boy shows that he can be dangerous.
Exactly, and it's because the alternative to that has been feminized, has been made to think, no, you don't, no, he's a good boy, he doesn't fight. Nah, he's a good boy. Let him learn how to throw hands, like, and then also spend time studying, because it's the same discipline.
Yeah.
It's the same discipline, and so if one person can be disciplined, and that's the other thing, is like the road men, far in between, don't really know how to fight. Like they know how to like scrap and stab you with a knife, but you give someone a low kick, they don't know how to take it. They don't know how to handle it.
Yeah.
And so it's
and that's why they're opting for weapons now.
exactly. And so I think I almost want us to move on to what we consider the solution, but I think it's allowing boys and men to be men. You know, there's a reason we produce so much testosterone, and there's a reason testosterone in and of itself is manifested in athletic pursuits or in aggressiveness. Those things aren't necessarily wrong, and this is where the Kevin Samuels and the Andrew Tates are able to spout their nonsense, because they're embracing that. And people are like, oh no, this resonates with me.
Yeah.
But then they're embracing that with everything else that's stupid. Someone said their analysis of the issue is correct, but their execution of a solution is appalling. And I think that's what the church and what men and what good men should be able to give to their sons. Like a boy like this, if you're able to carry a knife, if whatever that means to be hard, like you should also be able to value life. You should also be able to understand that yes, there is a danger that you need to be able to present, but then at the same time, there's also a need to be able to control that.
Yeah.
There's a need to be able to be to have self-control, to be gentle and kind when you need to be. But anyway, I think I disagree with the bad boy lifestyle being the more appealing one. I think it's rather, I don't even want to say the good boy, I want to say the real sort of manly lifestyle needs to be defeminized and allow men and allow boys to be boys and give them virtue.
You know, I think Peter, not that Peter's wrong, right? I'm not saying Peter's wrong, but Peter has also never had to live the life of watching the girl go to the girl that you like the bad boy, and you don't know what to do.
Peter's looking at you like, yes, I have.
Like, what gives you that impression?
Because you're you.
I don't know if that's a compliment or a diss.
You're strays today, boy.
I know.
I think what it is again, the security of your environment makes that more realistic.
That's fair.
If you are in a dangerous environment, by virtue of the people you live by and what they're doing and stuff, you coming across as a gardener in a land full of warriors, if they haven't got the honor that kind of comes with being a warrior, makes you a victim.
Yeah. And that's why like we laugh at these people from like middle class households when they try and get into rap and hip hop. It's like, bro, you know, the struggle world is not your life.
Bro,
you know?
Bro. Yeah. And so I
have lived next to the weed smokers. I have like been in West Croydon Station thinking I'm about to lose my life, and literally thinking, all right, who am I taking with me? Like I've done that before. So I don't
know why you had to point out West Croydon Station, but
because it was West Croydon Station. It was the 154 bus stop.
So and it's that. It's like if you live in an environment which is inherently aggressive, you either feel like you need to adapt to that to survive, or cower. There's no real middle ground, and so even that, I think it beautifully leads to the solution. And I think the solution is twofold. First is a deterrent, as you were saying, Peter, a deterrent to the guys actually doing the thing, and hopefully having a deterrent severe enough to actually be a deterrent.
Yeah.
But then also try to have build in a structure that it's so the deterrent being short term, and then building a structure to almost reprogram the mindset as a long term thing. And that's where we will have godly men, godly counsel, wisdom, teaching what is a man, like what does God say a man should be, stuff like that, where we're investing in the long term.
Yeah.
Whereas in the short term, we're like, right, okay, cool, you chopped off my man's head, cool. Same thing happens, like whatever that may be. And even that being expressed in a way that is equal. Not that the black man goes into jail for 15 years for carrying weed, and then the white man who's doing embezzlement and fraud and stuff only gets 2 months.
Is that because he's white, or is that because he's rich?
Both.
Because the black man that does the embezzlement that is rich, he's gonna afford a good lawyer.
True, but there is a disproportionate, not disproportionate, but an imbalance in the way justice is meted out within the rate, even statistically.
Yeah, so I agree, and just to add on to what you said, I think, and this is a pipe dream, a deterrent severe enough is death penalties. Something like this, make a few examples, make a few martyrs of this system. People are going to stop being stupid.
Now,
No, I don't. It sounds nice, but there have been countries that have the death penalty, and people keep getting put on the death penalty. So, I think it's not working somewhere.
I think even when so I'm taking David and Absalom, I believe. Not Absalom. The dude who raped his sister.
Oh, I should know this. I read it recently.
The dude who raped his sister.
Yeah.
Obviously, the brother killed him.
Yeah.
I think the brother was Absalom.
Yeah,
And Absalom went to Egypt and then came back.
Yeah.
But if Ade is still on the thing, type it out, bro. Peter's doing a quick Google search.
Yeah. Absalom.
Tamar, was it Tamar that got raped, I believe?
It was Tamar that got raped by Amnon and Absalom.
Yes, Absalom. So Absalom killed Amnon, and then he went to Egypt to go hide. And then when one of I think it was Ahithophel got the woman to come and speak to David and was like, "Oh, my son killed. I'm a widow. My son killed my other son, and now the people are crying for his blood. And if they kill him, then I'm just going to be left here by myself." And David was like, "Nah, no one is going to touch him. If it was an eye for an eye, and he was killed, like in his wise counsel, David ruled against it."
Yeah, David made mistakes. Bathsheba.
The look of matter of fact looked on your face. You're like, yeah, he made a mistake.
No, because I see what you're saying. And it's harsh, no doubt. And as I said, I might be responding emotionally, but I just feel like in an instance like this, like a senseless death like that, premeditated death, premeditated murder, those sort of things, rape, those sort of things, like they should result in death. We should be removed. But I think you're completely right as well. That's a short-term solution. Yeah, I think will be effective, but short-term. The long-term, I'd add to re-incentivize marriage. Yes. Like the idea of marriage, the idea of, okay, actually nowadays it's a bit weird, but the idea of man and woman sort of bringing up a child provides an environment that, again, statistically we see results in a lot less of this. Yeah. I'd go further. Again, not enforcing this, but like reinforce the freedom of religion, because all religions end up having an aspect of morality that ends up actually countering a lot of this.
Yeah.
Now, again, you ask me, I know the real religion, I would say Christianity, but actually you'll find, in as much as they are counterfeits, they all present an element of morality
Yeah.
that again would work towards curbing some of this.
They all have an element of the golden rule.
Yeah.
Do unto others as you'd want done unto you.
Yeah. The beauty of Christianity, and I have to present this, is that change, that the golden rule and all of that, as opposed to it being you trying to do something to be better. The change that comes with Christianity is God doing something in you, making you better, which makes it so much more, effective.
Yeah.
But at the very least, for a secular world as we are in, and we've been talking about better and worse, it would be better, I think, if religion was bring it back into schools, if it was more freedom of religion. I think it again would even help to
like
dissuade this.
If the government were to be like, yo, for the next 10 years, like made it plain and clear for the next 10 years, if you're found guilty of manslaughter, electric chair.
Like, not even manslaughter, because manslaughter can be the unintentional one.
Okay.
Manslaughter could also be the in defense, like premeditated murder, stuff like that, or rape. Yes, electric chair, shot to the head. I don't care. Yeah.
And it's the more, there's almost like a gradation. The more heinous the act of violence was, it's going to determine the act of repercussion.
Quick question. So currently, the definition of rape when it comes to like prison and stuff is someone doing the penetrating. So a rapist can only be a penetrator rather than an orifice that's going into something. So would you say that women who rape men should get that penalty as well?
Yeah. They want to be equal, so yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I was just asking.
And I think it should be extended to, even if you use something, same. They need to do like the African mums and get the cotton bud into the rob, shove that up your bum. Peter winced as soon as I mentioned the rob with the cotton bud.
It's all right. It hasn't happened to me before. It's all right. It's all right.
Fam, I'm laughing from a place of flashbacks. Yeah, I think that would be a good deterrent. But there would the justice system would have to be one that you would have trust in.
Yeah.
Partially why the communities are so violent is they feel they need to take justice into their own hands. So even they don't trust the government presiding over them. Yeah. How about yourself, Robert?
I think that something that we can do is just continue to be good role models. I don't know if I agree with this whole thing of if you see someone do something, be like, okay, stop it. Because as nice as that sounds in this day and age, that could be the end of your life. Which is crazy. You trying to protect someone can end up with you being ended. So you have to be very careful, I think, how you approach these kind of conversations. Because there's a lot of ego going around that needs to be contained and managed. But yeah, do what you can, have the conversation that you can, show people what it means to be a good man. Just be open and like as much as you can, allow people into your lives a bit just so they can see. As a church, I think that I don't know, because it just feels like men don't like coming to church as much as women. So if there was a way to, I was thinking, like, as much as I was talking about, like, good guy, quote unquote good guys living like a boring life. For a lot of people, they might see the life that we get as a result of following Jesus as boring, but it's the most amazing thing. So if there's a way for us to show other people what that looks like, because it's not going to be like 10,000 babes, that's not the life you're going to live as a Christian. So I guess it's just about a way of not like dressing up the gospel like Mike Todd does, but portraying.
Hey, you just sending shots today, boy.
portraying the gospel as authentically as possible, and I think that when it's presented authentically, that's how people see the beauty of it. And do that in whatever which way you feel like you can, like,
Yeah.
And we're all gifted to do it in our different ways. Like we discussed, we were talking about evangelizing. So I think that we should, use our gifts, share the message. And if you do have sons, teach them, let them know, bro. If a girl doesn't like you, doesn't like you. There's going to be other girls. If it's your girls,
don't blame her, blame your own game.
Yeah. And girls, just teach them. This guy, he looks enticing, but make sure that you're ready for the sting that comes with the snake or the bee. The analogy, it wasn't working, but I tried to save it at the end, but it didn't work. Oh, if you want the milk, you get the horns. No, if you want the bull, you get the horns. Yeah. So be careful. So if you've seen the horns and you can see that they're horns, know that those horns can penetrate you one day. In one way or another.
Let's move to the hookups. Let's move to the hookups.
This is a real Bobby A analogy.
What can I say?
In every sense of the word. But yeah, I hear it.
Cool. Hookups. It's so hot.
I'll go first with hookups. I've put this on my WhatsApp a couple of times. Revelation.
That's it. Yeah.
Revelation by an artist called Flawless Real Talk. He was on Rhythm and Flow, I think the first season. I think he was one of the finalists. D Smoke was a winner of that season. So he's a super good rapper. But that song, man, that song's been getting me hyped.
I didn't know he was a Christian rapper,
Yeah, he's not a Christian rapper, but that is such a Christian song. Like, it's
I listened to it, and he's literally spitting revelation.
I got Z in the car like, Jesus on the cross.
I love Zara's heart. I love her heart, man. Yeah, it's dope.
But yeah, man, check out that song, man. That's one of my bangers for this year, definitely.
Dope. Nice. Following suit, I dug back into the archives today, listening to the Show Barakas, listening to the guys that I used to listen to. And bro, I didn't realize how much I missed Stephen the Levite. So my hookup is just the artist, Stephen the Levite.
Yeah.
Just dig into his work. Like,
just grab a notebook in it. Just grab a notebook while you're listening, because it's just sermon. It's
literally, and his stuff is normally like 3 verses, and then it's just like, yo, like, I see the layers. It comes with like the biblical Jesus thing, then it comes with exposition, then it comes with the practical thing. I'm just like, yo, yeah, bro. There's even one song, What's Your Proof?
I remember
bro,
that one. Yeah.
What's your proof? Yeah. So he's talking about don't just listen to people spitting the gospel.
Yeah.
Like, be a Berean and study the Bible, and if there's something that don't line up, ask them. Like, chop it up with him. So first verse, he lays down his premise. Second verse, he argues it. And then the third verse, bro, the verse, he's just laying out the scriptures for the first two verses. He's just that. And then, yeah, at the end of the track, he's like, and if you think I made a mistake, here's my email address. Hit me up.
Yep, I remember that one. I'm going to listen to Stephen the Levite now. Yeah.
Bro.
I'm just going to check him out.
Yeah, just
Lamp mode,
Stephen the
man.
Levite.
Lamp
Yeah.
mode were on a different one. Yeah.
Bro. Yeah. Yeah. So that's my hookup, Stephen the Levite.
Okay, so my hookup is a movie. Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves. It's a very old movie.
Yeah.
1991. You know, it came to mind because there's a very famous tree in Scotland by Hadrian's Wall, and it's got the title of the most photographed tree in the world ever. And this week, one 60-year-old boy just chopped it down.
I heard that, you know.
What? Why?
Nobody knows.
What?
Yeah, and that tree was in one of the scenes, and like they showed it when they were doing the news. I'm like, oh, I remember that movie. That's such a good movie. It's got Morgan Freeman in it when he was younger. That was black hair. Kevin Costner and Rickman.
That's Robin Hood in tights, isn't it? Like
No,
they were in tights. Oh, don't think of a different one.
no, that's a different one.
Okay.
Oh yeah, Robin Hood, King of Thieves.
Cool. King of Thieves or Prince of Thieves?
Prince of Thieves.
Cool. Yeah. Cool.
Sweet. I'm gonna go listen to Stephen the Levite again.
Yeah, same.
All right, I have to tighten up. Dude. Anyway, shout out to Rude for the intro, outro music. Calvin Charlie Audrey Emerging logo. Find us on X at Furnace UK, Instagram at TBS Furnace, YouTube Audrey Amazing. You can email us at tbsfurnace@hotmail.com. You can find us at soundcloud.com/the Blacksmith Furnace, no apostrophe. On all good podcast websites and apps, the Blacksmith Furnace with an apostrophe. And that's it. So this is Blacksmith Furnace.
I killed it this time. Nice.